Sisi hebu mchukue, nataka kunini. Yes. Yeah, good morning. If you can hear me, please respond. Good morning. Ben, you can respond if you can hear me. Someone to respond. Good morning. Yes, Papa, unmute yourself if you can hear me. Unmute yourself. Okay,
I can hear you.
maybe. Okay. So, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. We are to discuss a certain paper that was shared. I believe you all have it.
I don't think I have it.
Okay, I've shared the paper on the screen. It's the mock paper.
I can see it.
Yeah, so we're going to go through it. I'll start with section B of the paper.
It's okay.
Okay, so the question is there. Just go through it and then we discuss. Okay, so the first question is on the screen. We are given a quadrilateral and the vertices are given there. Then you are supposed, we're not going to draw. So number 17, we just distinguish it without drawing. You are to draw the quadrilateral. I believe we can draw. Then the second part, that object is mapped onto the first image by a transformation matrix. You're given the transformation matrix. You are to draw the first image. So for you to draw the first image, you must have the coordinates of the vertices of the image. So how do we get the coordinates of the image given the object and the matrix of transformation? If you have the answer, you can raise up your hand. How do you get the coordinates of the image given the object and the matrix of transformation? Yes, Quincy, you unmute yourself.
You pre-multiply the matrix with the vertices of the object.
Good. So if you multiply the matrix of transformation by the vertices of the object, then you can get the vertices of the image and plot. So then the next question, you are to describe the transformation that maps the object onto the image. So if you are to describe a transformation, of course, after you've drawn the object and you've drawn the image, you can be able to tell If it's a reflection, it's a rotation, it's a whatever. So maybe we can just go through how to describe transformation. Suppose it's a reflection. How do you describe a reflection fully? How do we fully describe a reflection? Suppose you look at the object and the image and you identify it's a reflection. How do you describe it? Anyone? Describe a reflection fully. Raise up your hands. You know the answer. How do we describe a reflection fully? Yes, Preston, unmute yourself.
Like if you have a reflection, you have to state the transformation and point of reflection.
For example?
For example, you can say it's a reflection along the x-axis or y-axis. Yeah.
Okay, good. So for a reflection, you mention the mirror line. And of course, you mention it's a reflection. So you say it is a reflection in the line. Then you give the equation of the mirror line. Are you together? Then suppose it was a rotation. How do we fully describe a rotation? Yes, Melvin. Melvin? Suppose it was a rotation. How do we fully describe a rotation?
He states that the rotation, the angle of rotation, and center of rotation.
Good. So for a rotation, you have to mention it's a rotation, then give the angle and the direction of rotation. So you could say it's a rotation.
It's a rotation, center 0, angle 90 degrees clockwise.
Good. So you can say it's a rotation about 0, 0 or whichever point. Then through, you give the angle through positive 90, through negative 180, and so on. So that's a rotation. About an enlargement? If it's an enlargement, how do we fully describe an enlargement? How do we fully describe an enlargement? Yes, Baraka. Yes,
You can say that we see the scale factor as the center of enlargement.
Good. You state the center and the scale factor. So it's an enlargement. You have to mention an enlargement. That is 1 mark. It is an enlargement. That is 1 mark. Then you state the center and the scale factor of enlargement. So that is, we have looked at enlargement, reflection, rotation. What about a translation? What about a translation? How do we fully describe a translation? Yes, anyone? How do we fully describe a translation? What must we mention? Yes, Baraka?
We can say that you see the translation matrix like 0, 1, and then we show the original point like A and also A prime.
Okay, good. You tried. So for a translation, you mention it is a translation and just give the translation vector. So you can say it's a translation, comma, translation vector. You give this, whether it is 2, 3, column wise. So just mention the translation and the translation vector. Then a shear. How do we fully describe a shear? A shear? How do we fully describe a shear? A shear transformation. Yes, Queen X. Yes, Queen X. Unmute yourself and answer.
Okay, for a shear, you give the transformation, you say whether it's a shear, then give the invariant line, then a point which is not on the invariant line.
Good. So you mention it's a shear. You mention the invariant line. Then you state a point and its image. So you say it's a shear,
Yes.
x-axis invariant, and point A, you state the coordinates, is mapped onto A prime, you state the coordinates. Then a stretch. A stretch. A stretch, how do you describe a stretch? Yes, Baraka?
We can first say that's a stretch. Then you see the invariant line. Then you show an image and it's an object in its image.
Almost correct. Something is missing. Someone to add. For a stretch, how do you fully describe a stretch? You mention it's a stretch, you give the invariant line, and we mention the stretch factor. So it's a stretch, y-axis invariant stretch factor. You state the stretch factor. Okay. So what's the difference between a stretch and a shear? What's the difference between a stretch and a shear? Anyone? If you are given an object and an image, how do you tell it's a shear or it's a stretch? Yes, how do you tell it's a shear and not a stretch? If you have the object and the image, they have been plotted. Then you want to identify the transformation. How would you tell it's a shear and not a stretch? Yes, Queen X.
Okay, for a shear, when you observe the coordinates of the invariant line, they do change. While for the stretch, the coordinates on the invariant line do not change. In short, a stretch, it's we deal with the scale factor, with the stretch scale factor.
Good trial. Someone else, what is the difference? What's the difference between a shear and a stretch? How do you differentiate the two? By looking at maybe the object and the image. Okay, for a shear, the points that are not on the invariant line, they move parallel to the invariant line. Parallel to the invariant line. So if the invariant line is, for example, the x-axis, then a point that is not on the x-axis will move either left or right, but parallel to the invariant line. Then for a stretch, that's the points not on the invariant line. They move perpendicular to the invariant line. So if your invariant line is the x-axis, the point will move either upwards or downwards. I hope imeeleweka. Have you understood the difference? Have you understood the difference? Someone to respond. One person. You people are not responding. Have you understood the difference? Yes, Nordin.
Chad, just can you please repeat your difference?
I've said in a shear, in a shear we have the invariant line. Remember, for both shear and stretch, any point on the invariant line does not move, does not change. Then we have other points of the object that are not on the invariant line. These points change position. So for us here, the point of the object that is not on the invariant line moves parallel to the invariant line. So I've said, for example, if the invariant line is the x-axis, then the point that is not on the invariant line will either move to the left or to the right, but parallel to the invariant line. Then for a stretch, a point that is not on the invariant line moves perpendicular to the invariant line. So it will either move upwards or downwards if the invariant line is the x-axis. Are you together?
Yes.
Okay. That's enough for the description of transformation. So the next question, you're given the coordinates of the second image under a transformation, and you're given the matrix of transformation. So you are supposed to get them. You have the coordinates of the second image. You are supposed to get to draw. I know you can draw. We have the points you can just plot. Then Roman 2, determine a single matrix that maps the first object onto the second image. How do you get a single matrix that maps the object onto the image? There are two methods. So which are the two methods? If you want to get a matrix that maps the object ABCD, that is the first object, onto the second image, what do we do? Yes, anyone? Try to participate. It's revision. It doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. So what do we do? If you have an object, okay, the question is if you have an object and you have an image, how do you get the matrix of transformation? How do you get the matrix of transformation? Anyone to try? Anyone? Yes, Papa? Unmute yourself.
Can you see that you're going to multiply the objects and the image to get the transformation matrix?
Good trial, but not correct. Phoenix, try.
Before I continue, could you please repeat the question?
The question is, we are given an object ABCD. First, before I continue, are you able to see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
So we are at Roman 2. Roman 2 is determine a single matrix that maps ABCD onto A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime. So that is the matrix that maps the object, the first object, onto the second image.
For that one, the image, the second image, it will become the object, while the object, the first object, will become the image. Using the you pre-multiply with A, B, C, D.
What do we pre-multiply with ABCD?
Okay, so that we may find the matrix. That we A. Okay, unaona hiyo format ya 2 by 2 matrix.
Yeah.
And the second image, ukizimultiply inafaa kukupatia the object of which itakuwa image sasa.
Okay, you have tried, but you're answering another question. That is for the reverse, the inverse transformation.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, they have said that maps ABCD, which means ABCD is the object and the other one is the image. So your answer is correct, but we pre-multiply ABCD, the small ABCD, matrix with the matrix of the object, that is A, B, C, D capital, and then equate it to the image A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime, and solve for A, B, C, D. Hiyo ya kwanza imeeleweka? Umeelewa ya kwanza? Then there's another method, a shorter one. So the shorter one, remember we had first of all transformed A, B, C, D into A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. And you were given the matrix of transformation. The matrix was, let me just scroll up. Just a minute, James. We were given the matrix was 0, -1, 1, 0. That is the matrix that transforms the object onto the first image. Then you also have the matrix that transforms the first image onto the second image. We also given that matrix. The matrix was what? 1, -1, 0, 1. So if you're given the two matrices, if you want to get one matrix that transformed the object directly onto the second image, you just multiply the matrices, but you start with the last one. So you're going to arrange it starting from the last one, 1, -1, 0, 1, and then the first one, 0, -1, 1, 0. Tumeelewa? Have you understood? Any question? Someone had raised his hand. Any question? Yes, Preston.
Excuse me, Chair. I didn't understand how you derive the single matrix from the object to the second image.
So
Could you-
the second formula.
No, yes, the second formula.
So the second formula, okay, let's call the first, when we were transforming A, B, C, D to A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, we have a matrix, 0,
Yes.
-1, 1, 0. So let's call that matrix X. You can call it capital X. Are you together?
Yes.
Then we also have a matrix that transformed A single prime onto the second image. Here, 1, -1, 0, 1.
Yes.
We call it Y.
Mm-hmm.
We call it
Yes.
Y. So now if you want to get a single matrix that will map A, B, C, D, the object, onto the second image directly, you can get it by
Mhm.
multiplying these two matrices. But you arrange them in the order YX. You multiply them in the order YX. Umeelewa?
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? So we are done with that question. Any question? Hapo kwa hiyo transformation. Aya, if there's no question, then we go to question 18, is probability. So we are given in a class, there are 18 boys and 10 girls. Then 2 students have been selected to present the school in a mathematics contest. Draw a tree diagram to represent this information. You can try it out, draw the tree diagram. 18 boys and 10 girls. Yes, James, your hand is up. James. James tumempoteza tena. Okay, let's try it out. Yes, Makoha. Yes?
Yeah, you're going to write a tree diagram in a V-shaped,
Mhm.
like and the boys at the top and girls here at the bottom, then boys are going to give you the ratio of 18 out of the total, which is 28,
Yeah.
and girls 10 out of the whole ratio, which is 28.
Mm-hmm.
And since we have been told they are picking 2 students,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to, from the boys, we are going to draw another like sub branch of the tree.
Yeah.
Then, as we know, they are going to pick a boy, and there's no replacement.
Yeah.
So the ratio of boys is going to reduce by 1, which will be 17. And from the total, the 1 will be reduced also. So it will be 17 out of 27. And as we know, the girls have not yet, they have not picked any girl. So it
Yeah.
will be 10 out of 27, the other ratio of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And there, at the bottom there, where the girl, if a girl is picked,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to take away 1 girl from the total, from the number of girls, which is 10. Then we are going to minus 1, which will be 9. Out of the total 28, we're going to get 27. So it will be 9 out of 27 girls. And the boys have not yet been touched over there. So it will be 18 out of 27 and 9 out of 27. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. I hope we all have the tree diagram. Anyone with a difficulty coming up with the diagram? Okay. So from the diagram, you answer the question. So you remember part B, the question is written, use the tree drawn above to find the probability. If you're told to use the tree and your tree is wrong, then everything else that follows will be wrong, even if it's correct. You know, you can work it out without using the tree. But if you have been told to use the tree, then your tree diagram must be correct for the other answers to be given a mark. So I'm hoping our tree diagrams are correct. So the first one, find the probability that both were girls. Yes, we have R. You have, okay, R. Unmute yourself.
I wanted to ask
Hmm?
if you can simplify, like when
Yeah,
you're
you
writing
can.
the.
Yes, you can simplify.
Oh,
There's no problem.
okay.
Cecil, you also had a question. Unmute yourself. Okay. So what is the probability that both of them are girls? So you go to Gigi. What is the probability that both are girls? Yes, Cecil. Yes, Cecil.
5 all over 42.
5/42.
Yeah.
Do you have 5/42? So the answer is 5/42. Just go to your tree and pick Gigi, then multiply the probabilities. Then the probability that you have a boy and a girl. A boy and a girl. A boy and a girl. Yes, Cecilia. Yes, Cecil.
10 all over 21.
10/21. So for a boy and a girl, there are 2 options. You can still pick BG or GB because it's not specific if the order must be boy, B girl. So you can take BG or GB. You multiply and then add. So you get 10/21. Then Gigi, all of them are boys. So BB, what is the probability? Yes, Frank. Frank, you can unmute yourself. BB, what do you get? Frank. Yes, Frank, your mic is on. You can share your answer. Okay, John T, unmute yourself and share the answer.
17 all over 42.
17 over 42. Makoa, your hand is up. You have a question or you want to answer the next one?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
They are about all boys. Sir, when you take, let's say when you want to get the ratio of all the girls, if it was asking about all the girls, I could take a simply one take away. I will take away from a whole number from the ratio of the boys, all boys.
Yeah, 1 minus all boys.
And what about here? The first question asked both girls, and don't you take away just simply both girls from the ratio? Because from my end, it's not adding up. I'm not getting the 17 out of 42. So where could be?
We are working out. You're asking about boys.
Using both girls to get all boys.
Both girls to get all boys.
Yes.
You can use, but there is also an option of boy, or girl, boy. Hapo katikati.
Okay.
So BB, you've gotten what? 17 over 42. Okay, the other one, a boy and a girl in that order. So here the order has been specified. Boy and girl in that order. Yes, David. Yes, David. You can unmute yourself. David.
5 all over 21.
5 over 21. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a very simple question, but the catch was without replacement. You are not told it's without replacement. So if you forget and put with replacement, then it becomes now a problem. Do you have any question? There's a hand here. Let me see. Yes. Nothing beats. Unmute yourself and ask. You can unmute yourself. Okay, maybe you wanted to answer the same question. So let's go to question 19. So question 19, it's a graph. We are not going to draw, but we can discuss it. So we have the question there. We are given a group data representing marks of 100 students in an examination. Your hand is up. You have a question? Yes?
Yes. Before you go to number 19, in that question, if you use the simplified forms, you get different answers.
Simplified forms of?
Of the fractions.
Of the fractions?
Yes.
Not like which one now? Let me see which one.
Like the fraction of the boys at the start is 18 over 28. So when you simplify, it will be 9 over 14. So like, okay, let me take the example for the first point, which was asking both girls. So in both girls, when you simplify, it will be 5 over 14 multiplied by 4 over 13, which will give you
5
a
over
different answer
5 over 14 multiplied by
multiplied
4 over 13 or multiplied by 1 over 3.
4 over 13.
Both girls.
Yes,
Tunasema both girls. So
yes,
both girls, the first one is 10 over 28, isn't it?
yes,
And the next one is 9 over 27.
yes. And when you
So
simplify,
if you simplify, is 5 over 14, and the other one is 1 over 3.
but okay, if you are using
Hmm?
5 over 14,
Mm.
now when you take 1 from 5 over 14, wouldn't it be 4 over 13?
You take 1 as in you take 1 minus 5 over 14.
No, like you take
Oh,
one girl.
when you want to now complete the what? The tree.
Yes.
When you're completing the tree, you don't use the simplified one to subtract 1. You use it the way it was.
Oh,
Yeah, the way it was. So if it was 28, it must be 28. What I said you can simplify is the fraction, like 10 over 28, you can simplify to 5 over 14.
okay.
Naelewa? Naelewa?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah, but when you're filling the tree, you use the number, the way it is, the total number.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Someone else had a question na nimekupoteza. I can't see your hand up again. Okay, any question before we go to number 19? Any question? Okay, no question. Yes, Sammy. Sammy, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and ask. Sammy. Oh yeah, Sammy amepotea. Any other question before we go to number 19? No question. Okay. So number 19, we have that table there for grouped data. We have the max and the frequencies. Then the first question is you draw a cumulative frequency curve. So when you're asked to draw a cumulative frequency, we normally plot what against what? What do we plot against what? Yes? How do we draw a cumulative frequency curve? Yes, Baraka.
I think we draw cumulative frequency against upper class limit.
So cumulative frequency on the y-axis, and on the x-axis we have the class boundaries, but we plot against the upper class boundary or limit. Boundary, I'm talking of the one with 0.5. So some call it limit, some call it boundary. Yeah. So, and remember the shape of our cumulative frequency is S-shaped. So if you draw yours and it's looking somehow, then you know that maybe one of your points is not correct. So let me see if I can share the table, because we are supposed to use it to answer some questions there. So let me see, just a minute. Mm. So that's the diagram. It's supposed to look like that. So the diagram is supposed to look like that. On the x-axis, you can choose a scale to use, one that will fit on your graph paper. So are you able to see the diagram, the cumulative frequency curve? Tunaiona? Respond if you can see it. Papa, your hand is up. Unmute yourself. Are you able to see the curve? So I'm assuming we can see it. So now from the graph, you're supposed to use it to answer some questions. The first question below that graph is, let me read the question. So the first question, you're supposed to use it to find the median mark. Use the graph to find the median mark. So how do you use the cumulative frequency curve to get the median mark? How do you use the curve to get the median mark? Yes, James? James, sikuoni tena. Yes, Baraka?
Using the cumulative frequency, we take the total number and divide it by a half. Then we plot from the y-axis downwards tuone the median mark.
Good. So you take the total frequency and divide by 2. Plus 100 divided by 2, you get 50. Then you go look for 50 on the y-axis. That is 50 on the y-axis under cumulative frequencies. So we have 50 here. Then you look for the corresponding value on the x-axis where it meets the curve. So the corresponding value on the x-axis unasoma hapo chini. So according to this graph, the median mark is 39. I believe you can be able to get the value. So just from 50, you read the corresponding value of x on the x-axis. So here it's 39. Are we together? So the next question is still using the cumulative frequency curve. You're supposed to get the pass mark if 70% of the students are to pass. Pass mark if 70% of the students are to pass. So how do you go about that question? How do you get the pass mark if 70% are to pass? Any ideas? Yes, Baraka? Yes, Baraka?
We get 70% of the frequency, which is 70. Then we, from the y-axis, the cumulative frequency, we plot downwards, getting the mark.
Okay, good trial. James, your hand is up. Unmute yourself. James. James, your hand is up. Okay, James is not responding. Who else? Mkono iko juu. Let me see. You can add to what Baraka has said. We also have whose hand is up? James, you're not responding. Nurdin. You can unmute yourself.
I think to get if 70% are to pass, it means I think you'll get the three decile. Find the point where if you go lower than that, you fail. So I think it's the third decile
Okay, good.
of
So if
the frequency, cumulative frequency.
okay, good. So if 70% are to pass, it means 30% are to fail, isn't it? So we get the 30%, or the way I said the third decile. So we can use decile or percentage. So you get 30%. 30% of the total frequency, which is 100. So that will still give us 30. So if you get 30, then you go to the y-axis and get 30, and then you get the value corresponding to it. The value corresponding to it, so that is 31. According to this one, is 31. So for you to get the pass mark, you can put 70% are to pass, then it means 30% are to fail. So below 30% may fail, above 30% have passed. So you get the mark corresponding to 30%. Are we together? Muhuya, your hand is up. Yes? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and ask a question. Yeah, it's like there's no question. Okay, let's go to the next question. The next question is you find the quartile deviation. What is the meaning of quartile deviation? Yes, Anne, your hand is up. Unmute yourself.
It is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile.
Haijaisha? Imeisha? Okay. So if you are getting, how do you get the upper quartile and the lower quartile from a cumulative frequency curve? How do you get the upper quartile and the lower quartile? Yes, anyone have upper quartile and lower quartile? How do you get that? Yes, Charles.
In order to get the upper quartile, we do 3/4 of the frequency.
Good. So we take 3/4 of the total frequency. That is 3/4 times 100. We are going to get what? 75. Then you go to 75 on the y-axis and read the corresponding value on the x-axis. So according to this one, it is 53.5. Then for Q1, you take a quarter of 100, that is 25. Then you read the corresponding value of 25 on the x-axis, which is 28.5 according to this graph. Then the difference divide by 2. You get the quartile deviation. Papa, your hand is up. Okay, he doesn't have a question. Okay, any question? Any question? Okay, so let's go to the last part of that question. You're told if 55 marks was set as the pass mark. There's a question from Abubakar. Just a minute. Yes, Abubakar. Abubakar, unmute yourself and ask the question. Abubakar. Okay, as you wait for him, we can go to the next question. The next question is, you were told if 55 marks was set as the pass mark during the analysis, estimate how many candidates passed. Estimate how many candidates passed. 55 marks is the pass mark. So how many candidates passed? So how do you get to the number of candidates who passed? Suppose you're given the marks, the pass mark. How do you get the number of candidates who have passed? Any trials? Yes, Baraka?
I
Yes.
think
Mm-hmm.
from the x-axis we get the mark, then we, let's say, tunapanda juu
Mm-hmm.
kwenye that sigmoid curve, alafu tunapata the value on the cumulative frequency. From that value tuna minus from 100 kupata wale watu wenye walipass.
Good. So you get look for 55 on the x-axis, then get the marks corresponding to 55. So from this curve, let me see what was the ilikuwa ngapi? I'm seeing here 23, so it means 55 is which line? The red line above 75, somewhere there. So I'm guessing it's around 77 from the graph, because this line is 75, so here is around 77. So 77, below, those are the ones who failed, from 0 to 77. So above 77, those are the people who passed. So you take 100 minus 77. Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay, no question. So let's go back to, so we are done with that number. We go to the next number, number 20. So number 20. Let me just scroll down to number 20. Okay, so number 20 is there. You're given a triangular garden and you're given the measurements of the sides. So this is a construction. So we're just going to distract, we'll not construct. So using a ruler and a pair of compasses, we'll only draw the garden. So here you're supposed to construct 45 and also construct 75. Those are the marking points. Then of course your AB should be 8 centimeters. I believe we can construct that. Then the second part of the question after construction, part B, a water tap is to be mounted on the garden such that it is equidistant from points A and B. Equidistant from points A and B and from lines A, B, and BC. So show the position of P. So how do we get the position of P after drawing the triangle? This question is testing loci. So the point P is an intersection of two loci. Which ones? Which are the two loci? Someone to try. A tap P is to be mounted on the garden such that it is equidistant from A and B. Let's start with this one. How do you get the locus of points equidistant from points A and B? Locus of points equidistant from points A and B. Tuinue mikono. Locus of points, yes. Let me see. Musika, Victor, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Okay, we're not getting through Musika. Then there is APPS. Unmute yourself and answer the question.
You divide the line AB into
How do
two.
we divide?
You bisect.
We bisect. Good. So we're going to bisect line AB to get the locus of points equidistant from points A and B. Good. Then the other one is the locus of points equidistant from lines AB and BC. How do we get the locus of points equidistant from lines AB and BC? Locus of points equidistant from lines AB and BC. Yes, Masha? You can unmute yourself. Locus of points equidistant from lines A, B, and BC. Unmute yourself, Macha.
Um,
Yes. Macha amepotea. Cecil. Cecil.
You bisect angle ABC.
We bisect the angle at B. Good. So we bisect angle ABC. So where the two loci meet, that is our point P. Any question? APPS, your hand is up. Do you have a question? Do you have a question? Okay, no question. So that is part B. We have located point P. Then C, identify by shading a region R in the plot formed under the following conditions. So the first condition, CR should be greater or equal to 1.5. So which locus is that? Which locus are we going to draw? Which locus are we drawing? CR should be greater or equal to 1.5. Yes, Baraka?
I think you can say we draw a point which is equidistant from a point, or we basically we take a compass, measure out 1.5, and from point C as a center, we draw a circle around it. Then we shade the outside of the circle.
We shade which side?
The outside, because it's supposed to be greater than 1.5.
Greater or equal to. So we shade the inner, not the outer. As we move outside, it becomes bigger. Are you together? Okay, so that is correct. So we are going to take just take your compass with point C at the center and 1.5 as the radius. You draw an arc. You don't have to complete the circle because we are dealing with a garden that is triangular in shape. So inside the garden. So just draw an arc. Radius 1.5 and center C. Then you have been told CR should be greater or equal to 1.5. So from the arc and above, that is greater. So we shade the inside. Are you together? And then Roman 2, R is more than 2 centimeters from line AB. Which locus is that? R is more than 2 centimeters from line AB. Which locus is that? Someone to try. the locus of points more than 2 centimeters from line AB is which locus? Yes, Somi? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and answer.
Locus of a point at a given distance from a given point.
So that is which locus? What do we draw?
We draw a circle that is that measures 2 centimeters from point R, then from point AB.
Almost correct. We remember the points are supposed to be 2 centimeters from a line. So it is locus of points a given distance from a line. Which locus is that? Locus of points a given distance from a given line. Which locus is that? Which locus is that? Someone else can try. Which locus is that? Locus of points a given distance from a given line. Which locus? Which locus is that? Locus of points a given distance from a given line is a parallel line to the given line. So you'll draw a parallel line 2 centimeters from line AB. And then we've been told that R is more than 2 centimeters. So you shade the inner side, the side that is towards AB. Tunaelewana? Are we together? Kama mtu amepotea, raise your hand. Are we together? You're not answering, Frank. Are we together? Okay, I've gotten a response from someone, so we are together. Okay, so let's go to the next locus. Then the third locus, R is nearer to CB than CA. So which locus is this one? R is nearer to CB than CA. Which locus is this one? Anyone? Which locus? Locus of points. So you start first of all by getting the line before you deal with the inequality. So CB and CA, C is common. So this is a locus of points equidistant from two lines, line CB and line CA. That's an angle bisector locus. So you bisect the angle ACB. That will be the locus. And then you shade. You have been told R is nearer to CB than to CA. So if it's nearer to CB, then you shade the side on of CA. Then you can locate your R. Let me just see if it has been drawn so that you can see what R looks like. So just a minute, I'll share the scheme. Mm. Are you able to see the marking scheme? Yes, Papa. Unmute yourself.
The marking scheme is not visible.
Okay. I'm working on sharing it.
It's okay.
Meanwhile, we can go through the next question. As I work on sharing it, I'm just... So the next, but you can see the question paper.
No.
It's not there. Okay, let me share it. You can see the question paper.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question, number 21, is vectors. So before we go to that one, let me just share the marking scheme so that we are you able to see it?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just find the question so that you see the diagram, the position of R. So that's the diagram. So just take you through each one. So the first one, let me just go back to the question. So the triangular garden is there, that triangle ABC, and then there's a water tap P is to be mounted on the garden such that it is distance from points A and B. So A and B, they have bisected line AB. You can see the bisector there. And then from lines AB and BC, AB and BC, we've also bisected the angle at B. So the two are intersecting somewhere. There's an arrow showing point P. There's an arrow here showing point P. So I believe we can all see the position of P. Then there's part C, Roman 1, CR. So CR, we have this circle, the circle. So in the diagram, they have shaded the position of R. So we have not shaded the unwanted side. So we have the circle whose radius is 1.5 there. Then Roman 2, R is more than 2 centimeters from line AB. So from line AB, we have a parallel line. You can see the line, it is dotted. The dotted line from AB, it is 2 centimeters from AB. So you draw the parallel line. And then the last locus, R is nearer to CB than CA. So you bisect the angle at C. The dotted line there shows the bisector. Then you are being told it is nearer CB than CA. So it is towards the side of CB than the side of CA. So all the three loci are intersecting in that region that has been shaded red. So that red is the region where R is. Any question? Any question? No question. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Vectors. So for the vectors, you have to work it out. Mutaandika, so that it's easier to understand if you write. So we just write and share the answers. So we're given triangle OAB. We're given the vectors OA and vector OB. Then you're given point M and N as such that AM to MB is 1 to 2 and ON to NA is also 1 to 2. Then OM and BN intersect at X. Expressed in terms of A, vector OM. You can draw that triangle, put the vectors, and then find vector OM. So once you have vector OM, you can share your value with us. So we have N, yes,
It will be 2/3A plus 1/3B.
2/3A plus 1/3B. And is that the answer? Makoha, do you have a question? Unmute yourself. Yes?
So is it plus 2/3A plus minus 1/3B? Or is it? I
Okay,
got a
let me
different answer.
let me just see what is the answer is. Let me work it out. So ON to NA is 1 to 2. So you want to find OM. So if you want to find OM, we are going from OA to AM, OA to AM. So OA we have been given as A. Then AM will be 1/3 of AB. And AB is B minus A. So you have A plus a third B minus a third A. So that will give us 2/3A plus a third B. Iko sawa? Makoha iko sawa? Haya, so we'll get what 2/3A plus 1/3B, that is OM. And then we go to the next one, find BN. BN, make sure you write because the next part we are going to work out will depend on what we get in the first part. Rexio, unmute yourself.
Yes, I've got 1/3A minus B.
1/3A minus B.
Minus B. Yes.
Iko sawa? Bn, that is from B to O, O to N. Iko sawa. 1/3A minus B iko sawa? Aya. I believe we all got that. Rexo, you still have a... Okay. So the next part of the question, we've been given if OX is equals to KOM and BX is equals to HBN, where K and H are constants, express OX in terms of K, A and B, and also in terms of H, A and B. So let's express OX first in terms of K, A, and B. Yes, Cecil? Unmute yourself. Yes, Cecil?
2/3 AK plus a third BK.
2/3 AK plus a third BK. Good. And then let's also express it in terms of HAB. In terms of HAB, it will be what? What do we get in terms of HAB? Munapata nini? Express OX in terms of H, A, and B. Namjapata? Yes, Cecil. Yes?
A third AH minus HB plus B
A third AH
minus HB plus B.
minus HB. What did you get as your BN? BN?
A third A minus B.
A third A minus B.
Yes.
Then just multiply it by H.
Oh,
We have, it's okay. We have OX. You have to pass through BX. Where is OX? Just a minute, let me see. X is supposed to be where? BN and OM intersect. BN and OM intersect at X. So the other way of getting to X from O, passing through BX, is you can go from, you want to move from O to B and then B to X. Iko sawa? So what do you get? Yes? Yes, Baraza.
In brackets 1 minus H B plus in brackets 1 over 3 H A.
Iko sawa? Similar to what he had said, only that he did not collect the two together. So I hope we have the two ways of writing OX. So now we are supposed to find the values of H and K. So in order for us to find the values of H and K, we are going to equate the two forms of OX. So let's equate the two forms of OX. So we can start with 1 minus HB plus 1 over 3 AH is equals to, the other one you can also start with B. With B, so the other one was negative HB plus a third AH. I hope tumefika hapo. You equate the two. I've written mine as 1 minus H in bracket, then B, plus a third AH is equals to the other side. I'm also starting with B, so negative HB plus a third AH. So once you've written them like that, you equate the coefficients of the vectors. So the coefficients of B, and you also equate the coefficients of A. So if we equate the coefficients of B, we have 1 minus H is equals to negative H. Those are the coefficients of B. Is it 1 minus H is equals to? 1 minus H is equals to negative H. Iko hivyo? Are you together? We are not responding. Are we together? Someone to
Yes.
respond.
Yes.
So our two values of Baraka, your hand is up. Okay, yes, your hand is up. Yes?
I found my values of K as 3 over 7
Mm-hmm.
and H as 6 over 7.
6/7. Okay. Before we find the values, read for me your two equations for OX.
Okay, OX. The first one I found as 2/3 AK plus a third BK.
Yeah, 2/3 AK plus a third BK.
And the other one I found as a third AH plus B into bracket 1 minus H.
Yeah, ziko sawa hizo. Then, for those who have not gotten the values, we are equating the two equations of OX. So if we equate the two, we have on one side 1 minus H into bracket, then B plus a third AH is equals to 1/3 BK plus 2/3 AK. So I've arranged starting with B so that you can compare the coefficients. So we are going to equate the coefficients of B on both sides. If we equate, we are having 1 minus H is equals to a third K. Are you together? 1 minus H is equals to a third K. That is the first equation. Then we also equate the coefficients of A. A third H is equals to 2/3 K. Then we solve the two simultaneously. So using the second, you can multiply through by 3. You're going to get H as 6K. H is equals to 6K. Then equate it in the first one. So 1 minus 6K is equals to a third K. A third K plus 6K. So you work out and get the values of K and see if they are similar to those of Baraza. What are you getting? Baraza, your values, you got what? Yes, Cecil. Unmute yourself.
H. Be 6/7.
6/7. And
Lakini
K
3/7.
3/7, similar to those of Baraza. So I hope they are ziko sawa. Nani hajapata any question? Any question? Okay, no question. So we can go to the last part of that question. So the last part of the question, C, state the ratio in which X divides Bn. The ratio in which X divides Bn. Cecil, do you have a question? Okay. You can unmute yourself. Umepotea tena. So the ratio in which X divides Bn. So where was our X in the diagram? So if you want to find the ratio, you can find Bx. We can find Bx. So Bx is equals to, it was supposed to be equals to what? According to the, Bx was HBN. Are you together? Bx was HBN. And you have already found the value of H. H is 6/7. So Bx is 6/7 Bn. Meaning from B to X is 6 out of 7 portions. So what is the ratio of Nx to Bn? Nx to Xn, that is, to nx to xb. But wameuliza bn, so let's start from b. bx to xn. What is the ratio? bx to xn. From b to x is 6 out of 7. So it means from x to n is 1. Yes, Baraka. Unmute yourself.
The found the ratio as of bx to xn as 6:1.
6:1 is correct. Do you have any question? Anyone with a question? I can see we are out of time, so there's no need of starting another question and leaving it hanging. Do you have any question? Yes, Baraka? There's a question from Cecil. We can start with Cecil. Yes, unmute yourself. Papa, you can unmute yourself.
I had a suggestion.
Yes.
I had a suggestion that can we be getting the papers beforehand?
Yeah, the paper was sent. I believe it was sent. Was it yesterday or a day before? To the WhatsApp groups for various classes.
I don't think I got it.
Well, you can check from there and download. Yeah, it's in
It's
the
okay.
group.
Thank you.
Okay. Baraka?
My question was, what about if they tell you to find certain points are collinear, to show that certain points are collinear? How will you, to find out that certain points are collinear, how will
collinear.
you go with that question? Yeah.
Okay, if you're told to find that points are collinear, usually there are 3 points. Usually you're given 3 points, then you're supposed to show that those 3 points are collinear. So suppose we are given point A, B, and C. A, B, and C, we are given the coordinates. The first thing you do, you form 2 vectors. You can form any. So you can form vector AB and maybe vector BC or whichever, just 2 vectors. You form 2 vectors using the 3 points. Then after forming the 2 vectors, you show that the 2 vectors are parallel. That is, you write one as a scalar multiple of the other one. So I've said the first thing is form 2 vectors using the 3 points. Then 2, show that those 2 vectors are parallel by writing one as a scalar multiple of the other one. Then 3, now you state your answer. If you're able to show that the 2 points are parallel, then now you state your answer by writing, since, let's say AB, since AB is parallel to BC and they share point B, the 3 points are collinear. So that's how you answer that question. The last part, your statement, that is the answer. So the statement has to be there. First, form 2 vectors. Second, show that they are parallel. Third, write that statement. I hope nimejibu swali yako. Baraka, your hand is up.
Can you please show us an example with points B, X, and N?
BX
Kama
and
unaweza
N.
tuonyesha.
Good, nione. Let's see point BX and N. But sasa hizi hatuna. Anyway, we can use the vectors. So BX, what is vector BX? We have vector BX. So let's just come up with BX, the vector. Itakuja nini? BX. BX, do you have it in vector form? Ilikuwa nini? BX was HBN, isn't it? was HBN. So hata hii ni rahisi. Since H is, we already have H. H is a scalar. So Bx is 6 over 7 Bn. So since Bx can be written as a scalar multiple of Bn, then we can say that Bx and Bn are parallel. So the answer that you're going to write there, you would write, since Bx is parallel to Bn and they share point B, then the points B, X, and N are collinear. Umeelewa? Umeelewa? Baraka, can't see you again. You're not responding, so I'm hoping umeelewa. Well, we can stop there. Yes. Baraka, umeelewa? Okay, tunampoteza. So I hope it imeeleweka. We can stop there. Then for those who don't have access of the paper, it's in the wall, the various walls of the classroom. So you can download it from there. Then we can go through it next time. We have 2 questions. Yes, Girish? Yes? Your mic is on. If you have a question, please ask. Unmute yourself. Yes? Oh, ni Girishom. We are not talking. APPS, do you have a question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you please send the marking scheme?
Even the marking scheme is also there.
In
They are
the
both.
group?
Yeah. Ziko
Oh,
hapo zote.
okay,
Let me
thanks.
let me just confirm from one of the groups nione. I think it's there. I saw it there.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so we can stop there. Okay. Thank you for attending the lesson. We meet next time.